Dear students, I am Nausheen and I am back with you to discuss how to obtain the demand curve for a variable factor when the firm is monopolistic and when several other variable factors of production are being used in the production process. It's a very important topic because the demand of a variable factor can differ depending upon if it is the only variable factor or if there are many other factors of production which are variable. So here the demand of a variable factor which we are going to consider is labor, and other factors of production which may be land, capital, that are also variable. So we'll try to understand that how the demand curve in such situation is derived. Students, in this diagram you can see that we have plotted quantity of labor on x-axis, wage rate, and MRPL, marginal revenue product of labor, on y-axis. So suppose that the market price of labor is given by W1 originally, and accordingly MRP1 curve has been derived. So MRP1 curve is at each point, MRP1 curve is indicating how much addition to total revenue is being made when additional units of labor are hired. So as a firm keeps on hiring more units of labor, how much is the addition done in the total revenue? That you get to know through all the points which are on MRPL curve. Similarly, when the wage rate is falling from W1 to W2, another MRP curve has been made, it has been drawn, and you can see that MRP1 curve is intersecting the original wage rate at point A, while MRP2 curve is intersecting the new wage rate at point B. But let's understand and analyze this situation in detail. So supposingly the wage rate has fallen from W1 to W2. If that is so, the firm would move along the same MRP1 curve and should move ideally from point A to A dash if all other factors remain constant, but that doesn't happen in reality. So whenever in reality the wage rate falls, it becomes that labor has become a cheaper source. So mostly the demand for labor would increase as labor has become relatively cheaper compared to other factors of production. So there is a substitution effect. Because of the substitution effect, the firm would demand and hire more labor compared to other factors of production. But because labor is not the only variable factor of production and there are other inputs and raw materials also which are variable, so it is possible that because of output effect, other variable factors quantity demanded also increases. So the firm may increase not only the quantity of labor but say of capital also, or say of land also, because they are also used in the process of production along with labor. If that is the case, there would be a profit maximizing effect also. Now profit maximizing effect basically implies that when a firm finds that in general it's one of the raw material has become very cheap because of a fall in the market price, it would also plan to utilize and derive maximum utility from this price fall by increasing its overall cost outlay. So in such situations, firms tend to actually increase expenditure, and by increasing expenditure they are able to hire more labor, increase the quantity of other raw materials also and inputs also, and so they are able to increase output by a far greater level. So this result, the net result of all the effects, output effect, substitution effect, and profit maximizing effect, it results into MRPL curve shifting towards the right. So this rightward shift from MRP1 to MRP2 has occurred because of the substitution effect, output effect, and profit maximizing effect. Now when MRP2 curve has shifted towards the right, it intersects the new wage rate W2 at point B. Now generating these points A and B at various levels of the wage rate can help us in deriving the demand curve of labor. So when you join points A and B, the curve which is obtained by joining these points is known as the demand curve of labor. And you will always find that this demand curve for the variable factor is more elastic compared to the demand curve of a variable factor when it is the only variable factor. So we can conclude that demand curves are generally negatively sloped for inputs, irrespective of what is the condition of competition in the output market. So that is how we can obtain the demand curve of labor in the case of imperfectly competitive market, and here particularly we are looking at the case of monopoly. So we would be meeting again to discuss the diagram for supply of labor and for market demand of labor. Till then, all of you take care and have a very good time ahead. All the best and thank you.